Alright guys, let's get real. This move from Thailand to Canada has been way harder than we ever could have anticipated. And in this video, I'm just going to be walking and talking, sharing some thoughts, our experiences over the last 2 or 3 months since we decided to come back to Canada from living in Thailand full time. Before that, we were full-time travel content creators, digital nomads, traveling all over Southeast Asia, Mexico, did RV life for a few months, and yeah, about 3 months ago, we decided to make the move along with our 9-month-old daughter and our dog, Bear, to move back to Canada, which is where Mandy's family's from, and I have family here as well. I want to talk about something called reverse culture shock. It's a weird concept because everybody knows what culture shock is when you step off the plane in a new country, a foreign country, like for instance, Thailand. There's a culture shock. People speak a different language. The culture is different. They maybe drive on the other side of the road. The food's different. You can't drink the water. There's tons of things about Thailand that make it a culture shock. But one thing I didn't really understand is that when you come back to your country where you're either from or you've spent a lot of time, like here in Canada, there's another culture shock. And that's something we really didn't think would happen because we're familiar with the way things work here. We're familiar with the people here. We speak the language. We know how everything goes, but it's been a real eye-opener because the culture shock is real coming from Southeast Asia, and especially doing what we do for a living as content creators. It just feels like we're a little bit weird, I guess. So the biggest reason we moved back here was our daughter. But honestly, these last 3 months have been some of the toughest we've ever had since starting this channel. It probably has been the hardest we've ever had. And there's a few things that happened that I'm going to tell you about today. Firstly, we had one of our clients impersonate somebody else and try to extort us for a lot of money, which we covered extensively on this channel, so I'm not going to go into that in too much detail, but that was something we really didn't see coming, especially during our move. There's enough moving parts when you're traveling from one continent to another with a dog and a baby, and you're packing up your whole life. For something like that to be going on in the background just created way more stress than what we needed. It was also a lot harder than we thought to bring our dog from Thailand to Canada because he weighs 38 kilos and it turned out to be extremely difficult to fly from Bangkok to Canada with a 38 kilogram dog. Every airline has weight limits except for a couple. So we ended up doing a 50-hour trip from Bangkok, stopping off in Qatar, and then finally in Toronto and over here to the west coast of Canada. And honestly, as soon as we got here, we kind of just went straight into it. We didn't really have any downtime. Because of the work we do with content creation, you need to keep putting out content, obviously, to stay, I guess, in the algorithm and to keep people updated and just to earn money. On top of that, we have our other business, which is our production company, and we're doing all of this while staying with family members, which if you've ever stayed with family members when you have a baby, it can be quite challenging. Having a baby thrown in the mix changes everything. Like, she was sleeping so well in Thailand. I don't know what it was, but as soon as we got here, she just decided she was going to stay up until like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night and wake up once or twice during the night. And look, it's completely normal for babies to have sleep regression. It just so happened to start exactly when we packed up our lives and moved here to Canada. If you've ever gone without sleep for a long period of time, you would know that everything feels 10 times harder than it should. Even just a simple task like opening your computer and sending an email or writing a script for a video or having a one-on-one meeting with a client, all of this stuff feels way harder when you're not sleeping. And that's kind of what we've been going through for the last couple of months, honestly. And so, add on top of that, we moved into a brand new home, which is amazing, beautiful. We'll probably share it with you guys at some point. Because it's a brand new home, we have not been able to get anything delivered to our house. So we're living in a very small town. There's not that many options for stuff to buy here, especially even just things like specialized baby formula. We have to order it online, and for the last 4 weeks we've been trying to sort out our mailing situation because Canada Post just won't come to a brand new home. And then just getting to know the culture again. I guess the biggest difference with the culture is that in Thailand we were kind of surrounded by mostly either people who are on holidays and they're chilling. The locals obviously work really hard, but they're very, very relaxed. And then you've got retirees. So everyone in Thailand is kind of more mellow, especially if you're living in like a beachside town or an island or something where people are just there literally to just unplug, unwind and chill. Here in Canada, even though it's not as busy, there's nowhere near as many people, especially where we live, you can just sense the vibe that everybody's really sort of grinding and getting after it. I actually think it's a good thing because it makes you feel like you need to step up and get to work. And that was one of the things I really struggled with in Thailand, actually. I'm only in my late 30s. Mandy's a lot younger than me too. And we kind of felt like we were semi-retirees. I got a bit bored I felt like I wasn't really working to my full potential because I felt like I was semi-retired, and I felt like, okay, we're doing pretty well, like business is good, we got a very cheap place to live, our cost of living was very, very low, so we could just sort of cruise along at this level and not have any troubles. But the problem is, in order to reach the next level, sometimes I think you need to level up your life. Moving here and being around people who are extremely successful, like some of the mansions here in the mountains are absolutely insane. I don't know how anyone can afford them, but that makes you level up your life a little bit. And that's been the biggest change. The problem is that's come at the same time where we've had all of these challenges arise, especially the lack of sleep and just logistically having trouble getting our lives sorted. Like, we're still not really settled, and it's been 2 months. And then there's the fact that you feel like a little bit of an outsider, especially being YouTubers or content creators. Like, there's not many of us around here. In Thailand, it's quite normal. There's quite a lot of people who make content for a living in Southeast Asia. If you go to any of the night markets, you're gonna see like 4 or 5 people with a camera set up. Even the locals, like, they love taking content. Everybody's all about taking content. And here, everyone's kind of just doing the 9 to 5 grind, the regular life. And it's been hard to feel like we can really integrate back into like this type of society, given what we do for a living. Like, people kind of look at us like we're weirdos. I mean, they don't, but that's what you kind of think of in your head. Actually, we were just at the supermarket yesterday checking out, and the lady behind the counter, who we've seen like probably 20 times at this point because we go there every few days, she said she saw us on TV. And that's the first time I realized, oh, actually, like, people here still watch YouTube. It's not just people going to Thailand or whatever. Like, the locals here still consume YouTube. Apart from the challenges, we have really enjoyed a lot of stuff about being here, especially the nature. We were very lucky to come here in summer because we've been spending pretty much every day outside, down the lake, taking Bear and Lila for swims, going to the park every morning and getting a coffee, like just little things like that that weren't even possible in Thailand. There's no parks in Thailand. There's no real places to play outdoors for kids. You pretty much have to go inside to like a mall or something if you want to take your kid to the park. And it just felt like Lila was going to miss out on a big part of growing up if it was going to be in Thailand. But you know that saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. I think in some ways we thought that all we had to do was get to Canada and everything would just work out seamlessly, totally fine. No hardships, no struggles. It would just be completely easy because we were familiar with the country. But it's been the opposite, I'm telling you. Like, if you spend enough time away from your home country, you almost forget how that society works and how that culture works, and it can take a little while. So it's been 2 months. We still don't feel completely settled. We're getting there slowly. We're not done with travel content. We've actually lined up 2 content trips, which is going to be part of the next series that we're publishing, which is going to be called Wild Canada. And we're going to be showing you guys all the best places in Canada that you want to see. And we're really excited because we feel like we're looking at Canada from an outsider's perspective now, not as locals, which is kind of what you want when you're creating content, because it means everything still feels fresh and new and foreign to you. I think if you're used to the place that you're filming as travel content creators, it can feel a bit stale and boring. And that's honestly how Thailand felt. After being there for 2 years, like, everything just felt the same. You know, once you've been to one night market, you've been to a mall. Once you've been to one Thai restaurant, you've been to a mall. Once you've been to, you know, 10 beautiful, pristine beaches, it just doesn't kind of really hit you the way it used to. And that's one of the other reasons why we left too. Anyway, we're hoping to kick off this new series next month. If you have any suggestions of where you want us to go and see, leave them down below in the comments. Have you ever experienced reverse culture shock? I'll be interested to hear from you guys what you think. We're going to be doing more of these behind the scenes sort of videos. I know we do a lot of highly edited travel content stuff, and that's great, but we want to share some more real stuff with you guys. Some of the challenges we face, some of the obstacles in the way, also some of the good times as well. So if you'd like to follow along for our next series, make sure you subscribe down below, hit that bell. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.